You gonna take a look at the case?
We took kind of a look at it.
All right. Well, it's not so bright in there.
You can get the general gist.
Not plugged in, but yeah.
Oh, does it have lights in it?
When it's on, yeah, it does.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
What kind of wood did you use?
This is African mahogany.
I was right, it is mahogany.
Yeah. This is really expensive stuff, but it's all scrap. This whole thing was made of scrap wood.
Wow. Nice.
So, that's what it cost, maybe $400 in lumber if I hadn't used scrap, so. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really happy with how it turned out for just being a bunch of scrap wood in my basement. But, if you want to come around to the front, you see. Got the drive bay doors open there.
And you see screws.
Yeah, so the screws, actually there's magnets in there, and the screws attach to the magnets and hold it shut. And this is for a fan controller if I put one in, but I haven't put anything in there yet. Wooden power and reset buttons.
Yeah. We saw that you use your hard drives on strings.
The hard drives are on elastics. You can see it's actually pretty solid. They don't shake around very much, and it just cuts down on the noise completely. The fans are mounted the same way. So the fans are not mechanically attached to the case at all. So they're all just free floating, zero vibration, and they're actually silent. It's pretty ridiculous.
I like the string on the hard drives.
I do too, actually. I got the idea from an Antec case a couple of years back, and yeah, they used elastic suspension for the hard drives. I figured I'd try it.
Yeah. Does it reduce the noise?
It really does, and you know what? I mean, it's pretty solid too. Like,
yeah,
they're not going anywhere. They don't go left to right, so they don't go forward or back. Sort of.
Wow, you see this amazing case, and you're like, what about the wheels, buddy?
Yeah, I broke the wheels on the way here. I kind of I rolled it down the street, and the back wheels just tore right off. So I went to the local CVS, grabbed some wood glue, and hopefully it'll be good for tomorrow for the competition. But yeah.
This is pretty damn awesome.
Thanks,
Did
man.
you do all the devils and stuff by hand, just with a
I used a router, actually.
Okay, nice. That's a good move.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of steps with this though because it's such a small area.
Yeah.
You can't balance the router base on this, so I had to rig up a huge jig to try and keep everything steady. But yeah, I made the 7 fan grills on there. There's the one on the back too, and I used screen door screening. Yeah. So I double layered it, and you can see it's just. You're aware. Take a look, it's just glued on there with hot glue, and that acts as a really great dust filter. And you can also see this is weather stripping foam.
Yeah, that means it's
And so when the fans bounce or whatever, it just bounces off the foam. So that also keeps it away from the filter, gives it some a little bit of an air cushion, so it doesn't suck the air and you hear it.
Yeah.
So that's that. I did some molding around the I/O panel and around the power supply.
We noticed that you'd use the same metal from like a regular case.
So what I did, I took a really old case. I went to my local computer shop, asked them for the most broken case they had, sold it to me for $15, and it still had the hardware, so I have a little bag of hardware in there. Came with the hardware, I just tore out the motherboard tray so that I wouldn't have any problems with spacing, and then I just tore out the I/O panel bracket. And I just I screwed it on there, and the motherboard tray is fully removable, so it's not connected to the I/O bracket at all. So it's just 4 screws, and you can take it right out.
How's the temperatures on the case?
The CPU runs at about 30 degrees Celsius, and it's an Athlon 64 6000 plus. So that's pretty good temperatures for that thing.
Yeah. I would think that wood would be like kind of insulating, but
right. But I mean, the whole case. I mean, there's 4 intakes. There's 2 intakes for the hard drives that go over, and there's 4 side intakes. And there's just since there's positive air pressure in there, you can see there's just the vents on the back. The air just pushes right out the vent. Doesn't even need a fan, and then it just has the 1 exhaust fan. So the temperatures are great in there. I'm really impressed with how that worked out.
that's pretty awesome.
Thanks, man.
You got really good cable management there too.
Well, what I did, I went and got some cable ties from a hardware store. I'll open this. You get some more light in there.
Hey, Tom.
It's just all cable ties,
Oh.
and everything's just threaded like that. There's cable ties here, you can see. So all the cables are going in there, and it's just zip tied. And I got a big bunch of all the fans there, and all the other stuff runs down the side. And then if you want to come around the table, you can see the front panel on the inside. This was about 200 hours. And you see that this is the cable harness area pretty much. All the cables in the case, there's all kinds of cable ties to connect to. You can Velcro things to this. So it's just kind of like the backbone of the cable management. So everything kind of routes through there. And yeah, so you can see it's kind of messy at the back, but I mean, you close that door, it's all good.